Good morning, everybody. It's Kula Dula from RawStocks. We have another edition of our pre-market prep this morning, and today another Condor on the SPX. Tesla, does it still remain bullish after the sell yesterday? And NVDA, is it finally picking up speed? We'll find out. We'll get into it, all right, after this quick video. Okay, so quick shout out to our sponsors, Black Box Stocks and GammaEdge. Without those guys, we would not be able to provide this to you every single day for free. So do a quick shout out to them, show them a little support by utilizing the links in my bio or description. All right, so yesterday we got a close right under our daily 4, rejected right off of it, and we see that we're closing right underneath it. Now what? I think today is a big day for the market. I think that the jolts were, that the jobs, the ADP jobs were a little bit of a shock. And I think that can accelerate and damn near probably make our rate cut percentage almost to 100% today. So will that shoot us up? Potentially. I want to take a look at our overnight high. You're going to see overnight high on is was 64.63, and we're looking to drive down, I think, towards that 64.45 area and see if that is going to be a potential bounce. Okay, 64.45 is about near close. It is also the larger pivot point for us in regards to the transitional area here, so this would be a flip. So watch 64.45 today to be a huge pivot zone. Let me pull up the data for today. So to full complex, you could see there's some indecisiveness here. There's actually some overhead shorts mixed in with this, but it's realistically just the existing 6,500 spread here. And then we have the Condor that's showing its face right here. So you can see that 64.80 to and 64.10. So yesterday, Captain Condor and his crew lost on their lower leg. They quickly closed that out and realized that that's not going to pay out, and just kind of held in on a straddle, and then eventually even had to let that loose. It was an interesting day for them, so they lost. So usually when that happens, they double down, and we could be seeing that today. So 64.15 remains to the low side today, 64.80 to the upside on the Condor. When you put that in perspective, virtually it puts us looking like something like this. Our overnight high is right here, 64.63, and the gamma wall to the upside is 64.80. Downside 64.15, and a pivot right here at 64.45. This is not a great setup on the day. I think that you could play the bounce off of this range here and watch for some support. Let's put it that way. Let's watch for some support near this range as we kind of open up near yesterday's high day. You can see that it's right in this range. It's not quite towards our 64.45 area that we'd like to see, but I imagine that we'll see some type of movement towards 64.45 before making a decision on the day. If you're underneath 64.45, I lean bearish towards that 64.15 area. If we push down to this range, I don't foresee that slipping and going towards 6,400, but if it does, I imagine that would be a quick recovery back over the top of it. But it lose 6,400, that would spike VIX, and that would really drive some probably large selling down, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just kind of favor our range today. So keep an eye on this 64.45 area to be a pivot for us. SPY is a little bit in the same that we see a little bit below that 64.45 mark, but you can see that positive transitional area here at 643, looking to drive us up to 645. That's going to be lower than I believe yeah, a little bit lower than our SPX range here. Me personally, I think the SPX range up in here. Once we get here, I think I'll probably take a, probably a decent size short in this range and see if that is going to want to target back towards 6,400. I say a decent size. I don't swing super large sizes, but this is just something I think I have a feeling right here that this would be that breakdown towards 6,400 or potentially all the way back down towards 6,300. Okay. That's just my personal feeling here, my gut feeling. Isn't anything other than that. Data doesn't show it just yet, but we're going to see how things look up here before I open that. All right, so you can see what our plan is today on SPX. NVDA today, you're going to see full complex still remains very bullish, okay? Very bullish. There are some shorts that are starting to show up, but overall, these are more so cash secured puts, and people are net delta positive here, right? So this is looking towards a potential push at 175, in my opinion, today. You still have the overhead shorts here, okay? And you have a little bit of a draw towards that 175 today. That's pretty much the beacon of light. So can we hold 170 today for that move to 175? This is probably going to be my best trade today. Okay, so realistically, what we're looking for is a whole shot out the gate, and we're looking to hold 170, right? Look and hold 170, or you can say even look and hold this low here, and you're looking for it to press up to this range. Personally, based on what we've seen, you might wait to see this thing try to draw on stops and then recover, but I don't have a problem looking at this and saying this is going to be a draw and then probably a sell right here. Okay, I don't have a problem with this. If we lose 170, I want nothing to do with the long here. I want to see this thing draw down towards 165. Okay, losing 170 today, I will look at a potential short to target 165 and 166, but 170 is crucial today for a continuation up towards 175. This has your best probably earnings potential on a 175 call to see if it wants to push up that range. All right. All right. Tesla. Yesterday we called this. We called this to be the big trade of the day. I want you to take note of. This. Okay. If we see a close or a push over the top of 337, I'm okay being long on Tesla to try to make a run at 345 today. All right. I'm okay with that. I'm not a huge fan of it letting it slip below 337. It's right smack in the middle of our range here. And realistically, we would like to play more so down here. But I'm not a fan of this thing slipping 332. You do not want to see that. In fact, I don't really want to see this thing lose 337.5, and I'm more so bullish over the top of 342 for a potential push towards 350. Okay, that's really realistically what I'd like to see more here. It doesn't show a great look. Okay, like for me, I talked about this in the Discord. You can see every breakdown candle, we revisit it, and then it sells, right? Revisit, sells right here. We're selling down again, and we're popping that back to this breakdown candle. Will this act as a rejection to target towards 325 or potentially down towards 314. I think there's a real or excuse me, 320 and 314. That's the target, okay, to the downside. If we get this, I think it potentially can happen by the end of the week. It would realistically be, for me today, if we break and lose, say, 332.5, I think there's a really high chance that this thing fades down towards this 320 level and potentially down towards 314 by Friday. You really need to see this thing maintain these levels. If it doesn't, I really do believe that this thing can spike back down towards this level. So bulls have to stay engaged today and really try to push this thing over 337. If they do, then they may be rewarded with a 350 push. If not, look out below. All right. So, so bottom of the range says 330. But I imagine if we do lose this, we could slip this even today. All right. This could spike and we could draw us down towards 320 today. But realistically, back in this block area where we could see a return, you would look for support here, and you could be okay buying if, let's say, it bounces up here and recaptures 332.5. I'd be okay going long, looking to see if this thing wants to push back up towards this range based on data still looking positive for the week. Okay. All right. That pretty much covers the three tickers. I also wanted to go over something today. There was something online that talked about this little breakout wedge. All right. And you guys know I'm not a huge wedge fan, but I will say that this is set up for a potential move up. All right. This is definitely set up for a potential move up because the gamma is a full blown. You want to watch maybe a recheck at 742. All right. But in that range, you could see this thing start to make a move up towards 800 if we continue to get that press. At least, let's say, at least up to 760 and potentially up to that 775 area. I think you could see that push for sure. Will that happen today? I'm not so sure. We might spend today, getting sold on and then kind of set near that pivot. But I'm not a huge fan of those, right? But the data really shows us, and that's where I want to kind of go into this, is that this can help build confluence instead of showing, hey, we're on a fake breakout here, right? We could say, hey, this is a, because you see these all the time, they fake breakout, right? This is more so supportive of a fact of a potential breakout. And that is where, you see these and people are like, oh my God, this thing broke out like crazy. Well, this data supports it right now. All right. So I wouldn't be against that. You can see that 750 is a huge wall. 750 is a huge wall. All right. So you need to know, if we break over the top of 750, or let's say we bounce off 742.5, hold that, and we break over 750, this thing absolutely can get parabolic to the upside. You can see that the data does give us upside all the way up towards that 770 area that I was talking about. But you have to break through 750. If you don't break through 750, you could see this thing roll back over. And I think you could see the likes of, say, 730, 725 again. So this would be a break over 750. But if you lose, let's say like you get rejected here at 750, watch for this thing to check 742, lose 742, you're back down towards 720. And I think you potentially target all the way back down towards this 700 and 680 area. All right. Okay. That's it for today, guys. Hey, I want to do a quick shout out to GammaEdge for retweeting us yesterday. And if you're interested in what we do and how we trade and how we attack the market, come join us at RawStocksLLC.com. That is RawStocksLLC.com. Of course, I have the links in my bio, my description, my pinned tweet. You can join up for that. We have a $7 for 7 days a promo going on right now. It's not a subscription. You could just join for $7. Check it out. If it's not for you, then great. Move on. But if not, if it is, I think you'll really find a lot of benefit to what we do, how we attack the markets, and yeah, we got a great group of traders. So come check it out. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till tomorrow. We'll catch you later.